Right. Welcome. I'm just gonna do a little Minecraft thing. Completely unscripted, so if I seem a little lost on what I'm talking about, that's why. So, one thing that I was considering doing with my channel is I am going to be doing a thing where instead of being myself, I am going to try to be different characters that I've created. Now, you have already probably seen a hint of one of my characters, but I wasn't acting as their personality. On that white knuckle video I did. Hold on, I need to turn this music down. There we go. But currently two characters that I have, which I definitely have a lot of characters I could pretend to be, but right now I have two of them at down. There is Michelle Dagger, or just Dagger. She is going to be essentially the face of the channel. There is going to be Rochelle Tabbingson, which is who this character model is based off of. Well, not the character model, but the skin I'm using is based off of. Also, that thing that I posted the other day, that was just me putting my thoughts out there. Just essentially a vent, basically. I know it looks like something would be like, ooh, start of ARG. No, it's not. One thing I'm definitely going to be doing as well is I'm probably going to be posting more of my artwork onto my channel. Or artwork, mainly it's just pencil sketches, but that's it. But yeah. While I'm at it, I can go ahead and tell you what my characters are about. Here, I actually have a sketchbook is actually right next to me, so I can probably go ahead and... Why am I putting a crafting table into my crafting slot? Big brain, big brain. Thing is I find it hard to be myself, basically. Which that probably was what that video last night was essentially about. It's basically, I find it easier to try to be what people want me to be instead of just being myself, which that's not really a good thing, because why is it always frowned upon to try to be yourself? Here, for what I'm about to say next, I should probably close my door. So, as I was saying, earlier at the start of this year, well, let's give some background actually. When I was younger, I was questioning basically who I was. And it was scary because, oh crap. But the reason it was scary was because my mom is mainly Christian. So since of that, it was scary to think about. Because you know how most people act when they find out that someone is questioning their sexuality, and that usually goes against the belief of most Christians. Now, I myself choose not to really follow any religions because it's just mainly people telling you how to live your life. I want to live how I want to live, not how other people want me to live. Now, since I was questioning who I was, I brought it up to my mom. Now, this was around when I was like 16, maybe. And she very obviously didn't have the response that was nice. So what ended up happening was I just never brought it up again. Never talked about it. Stewed in my own feelings. Questioned if it was even worth living. And what essentially recently my mom is way more supportive now, though. But the reason I know that is because flash forward here to 2026, I'm now 19. My mom remembered what I said all those years ago, and she brought it up to me, and I'm gonna be honest, it's a little hard to look your parent in the face and say, hey, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. So my mom wanted to know what caused me to want to transition. And it's hard to look your parent in the face and say, I hate the way I look. I hate my own body. I hate the expectations put on me just because of how I look. And it's terrifying. This essentially made it to where I was unable to properly tell my mom why. And since she thinks that I don't know why I want to transition, she wants me to go to a counselor, which is terrifying. I know people always talk about how counselors are usually unbiased and they won't try to make you decide whether you should or shouldn't, but it's still talking to a stranger that I don't know. And I don't know if I can do that. So we're currently looking into counselors for me to go see. Hope I can get all this shit together. That's essentially currently my life update. Alright. Now that I have a house down, I can look at my sketchbook and tell you about my characters. Okay, so here we go. Also, sorry if you hear the mic moving because I was using my sketchbook to hold up my mic and not pick up sound. First, we have Rachel Tappington. Rachel Tappington is a character of mine from the world of Selenor. She stands at 4'5". She is chaotic good. She has a small bite taken out of her left ear from a childhood incident. Her job is essentially her jobs is shopkeeper, mage, and potion brewer. Now, this version of the skin is essentially what she looks like, although it definitely could look better. My skin making skills in Minecraft are not that good. But she wears a purple robe with a gray undershirt and gray pants as well. She always has a belt slung across from her shoulder down around her waist, and usually hanging up by that belt are some of her potions and her spellbook. But the color of her fur is orange and cream, and the city she lives in is called Brassfire. Now that was the basic rundown of Rochelle. Let me head over to Michelle, or as I refer to her as Dagger. What I'll probably do is I'll put up pictures of my drawings of my characters as I mention them. Oh, well, we ain't gonna get to Dagger just yet. Here's Charlie Foxtrot. Charlie Foxtrot is the youngest sibling of the two Foxtrots. She works as a site director for an unknown secret foundation, which, just for the record, is heavily based off of the SCP Foundation. She is American and lives in West Virginia at White Sulphur Springs. Then there's her brother Andrew, which Andrew is the oldest sibling of the two. He is, well, he is a mechanic, and after a incident with a reactor that he stupidly fiddled with, caused it to explode. But instead of killing him, it did something to his body, which caused his skin to turn into a ceramic-like skin, basically. And due to this, he has the power to control fire with his mind. Pretty cool. Andrew himself refers to what he got turned into as Phoenix. Now let's go to Michelle. Now, Michelle Noel Dagger. She has 3 jobs, which is she works at a cafe, she is a bartender, and also a maid for hire. Now, she is a punk. Now, yeah, she's a punk. She is French. And, well, this, for the record, is past Michelle. She is French, lives in Paris Belleville in a studio flat. After a incident with her family, she got kicked out of her house at the age of 16 and eventually went to college, graduated, and that's that. Now, a few years later, she gets a job to work at the Foxtrot Manor. Now, yada yada, she meets with Foxtrot, works there for like 1 or 2 years, but the head of the house, Alex Foxtrot, who I don't really have a profile for, this is the father of Charlie and Andrew, but Alex Foxtrot lures Michelle into a basement, like a secret basement inside of the Foxtrot Manor, which he knocks her unconscious and uses her for experiments. Now, there were many experiments that happened on her, but the 2 most prominent ones are an immortality serum and a experiment to heighten the human senses. Now, the experiment to heighten the human senses was used of fox blood, which caused Michelle's body to morph into a humanoid fox-looking creature. And as my brothers have kindly told me, a furry. So yeah. Now, Dagger, due to this, obviously has PTSD of basements, chains, needles, anyone in power, really. But Charlie and Andrew later find, like a year later, so Michelle was experimented on for an entire year. Charlie and Andrew find the secret basement and find Michelle in there. Obviously, they're surprised by what they see, and they free Michelle, but Michelle, not being able to think coherently and mind is all over the place, she immediately goes to kill Alex Foxtrot. Now, Andrew and Charlie, they are very indifferent. They love their father, but they can't essentially back what he's done. They don't like him for that. So it's very like mixed feelings of where they love him, but it's really hard to. Now, Andrew, with his mechanic skills, made a mask, like an LED mask for Michelle, since due to how her body has changed and stuff, she is basically dissociating and refers to herself as Dagger. now what Dagger... Now, Andrew makes an LED mask for Dagger as a way to hide her face, and she just panics any time she looks in a mirror or essentially like that. But it's an LED mask that is essentially shares is connected to her mind, that essentially makes it to where the mask can basically show feelings that she has, like happy, sad, laughing, stuff like that. And due to the experiments as well, it really strained her voice, so her vocal cords are all messed up, making it to where she can't talk. Right now, that is Michelle and the Foxtrots. And Rochelle, but Rochelle is a part of an entirely different world, so... No, one of my friends invited me to a party. But anyways, moving on to my next character, there is Elodie Camille Dagger, which she is related to Michelle Dagger. Elodie, she is the youngest sibling of the Dagger household, and she, after the disappearance of Michelle when she moved to America to work for the Foxtrots, Elodie essentially just broke down. She can't find her sister, she's having trouble, and basically being very emotionally unstable, she takes the burning stuff. Which, yeah, she's a pyromaniac, essentially. But she gets hired by a group of mercenaries. Oh, wow. Heavy Team Fortress 2 inspiration, so. She works for a group of mercenaries that allows her to move to America and allows her to look for her sister, essentially. Basically, she's the pyro from Team Fortress 2, if I haven't made it obvious enough. Now, moving on to a set of two different characters. There is Robin and Picious. Now, Robin is a non-binary resident in Rhode Island. She is, well, not she, non-binary, so they at like age 17, maybe 16, Robin encountered a creature by the name of Picious, which was made of a weird ink-like substance. And Robin was very obviously terrified, but showed respect and committability to Picious, which caused Picious to get attached to Robin. So now Picious essentially follows Robin everywhere. But Robin is a film school student at the Rhode Island School of Design. And basically, Robin is a goth, essentially. Robin has brown eyes, brown hair, and uses black highlights in their hair, gothic makeup, and an oversized hoodie. And Picious was a lab experiment, and one of the researchers named Salwerwin got too close to this substance and it caused it to attach to her. This essentially made it to where the ink took the form of her body, and the merge caused the ink to gain a sentience of its own, essentially putting two minds in one, with Picious being her own mind and Sawyer being her own mind, but they share the same body. And that's essentially all of the characters I have right now. Yeah. As I said, as I mentioned the characters, I'll display my drawings that I have of them. But that's all I have right now. Goodbye.